There's a phone call you never want to receive. It comes at 2 a.m., or during a lunch on a Tuesday, or right when you're laughing with friends. The voice on the other end is shaking. The words don't make sense at first. They're gone. Maybe it was Grandma, who always smelled like lavender and told the same stories every Christmas. And maybe it was your best friend from college, who was supposed to be at your wedding next year. Maybe it was someone who was supposed to grow old with you. Whoever it is, whenever it happens, one thing connects every human being who has ever lived. We all know the sting of loss. We spend so much time celebrating beginnings. Gender reveal parties, baby showers, first birthdays. We document every milestone, share every first step, every first word. But we rarely talk about endings, not until we're forced to, when it's already too late for conversation. Today, let's change that. Because death isn't just something that happens to other people. It's coming for all of us. And maybe that's not the tragedy we think it is. Right now, as you're listening to this, cells in your body are quietly shutting down. It's 3:47 p.m. on a random Wednesday, and somewhere in your liver, a cell that's been working for weeks just stopped. Not because anything's wrong, because that's what it was designed to do. When someone is dying, really dying, there's a rhythm to it that medical professionals know by heart. First, circulation slows. The skin that once felt warm to the touch grows cool, starting with the fingertips and toes. The vibrant pink of life fades to a gentle gray blue like winter settling over summer. Then comes Cheney-Stokes breathing, the medical term for something that feels anything but medical. They breathe, 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 then nothing. Silence stretches so long you think it's over. Then suddenly a gasp, another breath. They're not ready yet. But in a few hours there will be another pause, and this time no gasp will break the silence. But here's what's strange. Most people who are dying seem to know it's coming. Instead of terror, there's often something that looks almost like relief. Sarah was 19 when she overdosed on sleeping pills. The paramedics worked on her for 3 minutes after her heart stopped. Technically, legally, she was dead, but Sarah was watching the whole thing. Not from her body on the stretcher from above, like she was floating near the ceiling of the ambulance. She watched the EMT with bright green hair desperately trying to restart her heart. She saw every detail of the equipment, heard every word they said. She watched them fight to bring her back to life. 3 days later, when Sarah had recovered, she asked to meet that EMT. The one with the distinctive mint green hair she'd seen so clearly while she was dead. He was real. Everything she'd experienced while her heart wasn't beating. It had actually happened. Stories like Sarah's aren't rare. Thousands of people have been medically declared dead and returned with memories of what happened while they were gone. They describe watching their own resuscitation from outside their bodies. They report meeting relatives who died years before. They remember conversations that happened in other rooms while they were unconscious. But the most consistent thing they describe is this: life flashing before their eyes. Except it's not what you'd expect. It's not graduation or your wedding day or the birth of your children. It's riding your bike when you were 7, checking your email on a random Tuesday, watching a white cat walk up a flight of stairs in an apartment you lived in when you were barely old enough to walk. One man described that exact scene. The white cat, the stairs, the apartment layout, in perfect detail. He drew it for his mother after he was resuscitated. She recognized it immediately. They'd lived in that building when he was 14 months old. Are all our memories still in there? Even the ones we've forgotten? When we die, do we get to see everything we thought was lost? And if consciousness can exist outside the body, if awareness continues when the brain stops working, what does that mean about who we really are? Maybe we've been asking the wrong question all along. Instead of why do we have to die, maybe we should ask, what would life be like if we couldn't? Imagine a world where nothing ever ended, where every person who was ever born was still here, where every relationship, every experience, every phase of your life stretched on infinitely. Would anything feel precious? Would any moment feel important? The word deadline exists for a reason. Limits create urgency. Remove the limit, and nothing feels urgent anymore. Every I love you carries weight because both you and the person you're saying it to won't be here forever. Every hug means something because there will be a last one. Every sunset is beautiful, partly because it ends. Your most treasured memories. Why do you treasure them? Because they're gone. Because they existed for a perfect moment and then became part of the past, unrepeatable and irreplaceable. If those moments lasted forever, they wouldn't be memories. They'd just be Wednesday. Death doesn't steal a meaning from a life. Death is what gives life its meaning. When my grandfather was dying, I sat next to his hospital bed and watched him sleep. His breathing was labored, his skin was cool, but there was something peaceful about his face, like he was having the most restful sleep of his life. And I realized something. He wasn't suffering. I was. The pain of death isn't really about the person dying. It's about us, the ones left behind. We're the ones who have to figure out how to live without them. But for them, for most people who are dying, there's often a sense of completion, of coming home. That's when I understood what death really is. It's not life's opposite. It's life's completion. It's not the enemy of meaning. It's meaning's greatest ally. Because knowing that our time is limited changes everything. It makes us braver because there's no time to waste on fear. It makes us more loving because we know love is temporary and therefore precious. It makes us more authentic because pretending becomes exhausting when you realize how short the show really is. Death is life's greatest gift, wrapped in our deepest fear. It's the gift of urgency that makes this moment matter. The gift of scarcity that makes love feel like a miracle. The gift of endings that give our stories shape. The gift of knowing that every ordinary Tuesday could be someone's last. So when you're sitting next to someone who's dying, and someday you probably will be, remember this. They're not afraid. You are. Talk to them about the life they lived. Tell them about the impact they had. Share memories that made you laugh. Moments that changed you. Ordinary Tuesdays that somehow became extraordinary. Because that's what death teaches us. It's not the length of life that matters, it's the depth. It's not about avoiding the ending. It's about making the story worth telling. Right now, while you're alive, while the people you love are alive, while there's still time. What story are you writing? The earth keeps spinning. The birds keep singing. Everything has an end. And maybe that's the most beautiful thing about being human.